1944, so just a little under 2 months short of D-Day. Now, the uniform that I am wearing is what they would have worn when they landed on Omaha Beach. This is called the M1943 uniform, and I am wearing the full pack-out of gear that they would have been issued. I have my helmet and liner, I have the M43 trousers, the jacket, wool shirt, and then behind me, I have my musette bag on my suspenders, as well as my pistol belt, my shovel, my canteen with my cup, and then there was a first aid pouch on the back here as well. Now, for a lot of the women, this is something that additional that was optional was a lineman's kit, which contained a pair of pliers and a knife to be able to better work with this wire. Now, the uniform that Hannah over here is wearing is M43's as well. However, she is wearing it without the jacket and the gear pack out. This is something that they would have worn in camp on a daily basis, not only because it was comfortable, but in addition to that, because they were doing all sorts of things outside. So you needed to make sure you weren't gonna wear something that you were gonna mess up. And then Hannah over here is wearing what would be considered Class Bs. So she has her service shirt, her wool skirt, and service shoes. And this is something that they would have worn maybe for if they had something a little bit nicer, like maybe we had a major coming through that was gonna do an inspection, or maybe they were gonna go into town and wanted to wear something nicer, so they would wear what she's wearing here. And then what Hannah is also wearing, or I'm sorry, holding here, is the hobby hat, which was named after the first commander of the Women's Army Corps of Ada called Hobby. And then the off-duty dress, which is something that they would have worn into town as well, you know, when they were off duty, hence the name. So these women ended up traveling all the way through Germany, and at the very end of the war, they eventually disbanded, and many of the women dissolved into SHAEF, which stood for Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force. So these were the group of men and women who planned D-Day. So after, the war was over and things were slowly getting back to normal, they dissolved. So I'm going to open it up now if anybody has any questions.
How did three Hannahs wind up in the same place?
Well, that's a good question. So my husband's stationed at MacDill, so we wound up down here. She happened to be moving here at the same time, and we knew each other from reenacting. And then we happened to show up to an event where Hannah was also reenacting, so we've just been hanging out and reenacting ever since.
It's destiny.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the history.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
A little bit.
It's very hot.
It's wool, so.
Yeah, it's something that we're